Hey, how are you guys doing? Today we're gonna talk about this exciting movie. So, the movie starts with a scene where Khloe, the 16-year-old girl, just got back from school. Then, that evening, Khloe and her two girlfriends meet Ahmed and Thomas, two guys known to be a bit mischievous. So, Ahmed challenges them to lie down on the train tracks. He says if they succeed, they can date anyone among them. Everyone is excited, especially Khloe, who has had a crush on Ahmed for a long time. But in the end, only Ahmed dares to take on the challenge. While her friends watched in horror, Ahmed managed to escape from the passing train. Ahmed returned triumphantly and chose some girls to join him on an old non-operational train carriage. Khloe was so sure Ahmed would pick her, but he ended up choosing Khloe's blonde-haired friend. The blonde girl hesitated at first because she knew Khloe liked Ahmed, but Ahmed reassured her that everything would be okay. So, after Ahmed chose Khloe's friend to enter the train carriage, Khloe saw a scene that really broke her heart. She saw the person she liked flirting with her close friend, and her friend seemed to be enjoying it. Crazy, it must have felt like being stabbed repeatedly. When Khloe got home, she was scolded by her mother for not staying out overnight. Well, moms always worry a lot, you know. But because Khloe is a teenager who wants freedom, she decides to sneak out of the house without her mother's knowledge. Khloe took a train from Paris without knowing where to go. When she got off in an unfamiliar city, Khloe was completely lost and felt directionless. However, she found a wallet with money in it, lying on a park bench. Even though she could have taken the money, Khloe decided to return the wallet after seeing a picture resembling a building on the street inside the wallet. Khloe finally arrived at the restaurant depicted in the photo inside the wallet. There, she met Katia, the restaurant owner who had recently moved to the city. Khloe seemed instantly captivated when she saw Katia joyfully dancing inside the restaurant. Katia herself was thrilled because Khloe had been honest and returned her wallet. As a token of gratitude, she prepared coffee and bread for Khloe to have for dinner. Unfortunately, when Katia wanted to give Khloe money as a gift, Khloe declined. Instead, she explained that she had run away from home and needed a job to support herself. Unfortunately, Katia's restaurant was quiet with few customers, so Khloe left feeling disappointed. But unexpectedly, that evening Khloe returned to the restaurant. She even went as far as breaking the glass door to get inside. In the morning, Katia was really upset upon learning that Khloe had broken the door. Khloe apologized and offered to work there to cover the damages, but Katia still disagreed. Katia was afraid that Khloe, being underage, might make another mistake. As morning turned into night, Khloe got really hungry and decided to go back to Paris. Unfortunately, when she tried to head back, she couldn't find the train schedule to Paris for that night. So, what's Khloe going to do? In the midst of her confusion, Khloe suddenly met a man named Jean-Michel. Michael was quite handsome and had a charming way of speaking. He offered Khloe to stay at his house. Although Khloe was a bit hesitant, because she was afraid Michael might try something, she eventually agreed to stay at Michael's house. At night, Khloe got to sleep in a cozy bed and was relieved to find out that Michael was cool with her. In the morning, Khloe woke up to a sweet note from Michael and some money for her to buy breakfast. Unfortunately, when Khloe tried to call her mom to tell her about the situation, her mom got all mad and told Khloe to come back. After getting money from Michael, Khloe immediately went back to Katia's place to replace the door that got damaged. Turns out, Katia didn't want to accept Khloe's money. In fact, Katia was more concerned about the origin of the money. She asked Khloe if it was really from a kind stranger. Even though Khloe was sure Michael was a good guy, Katia still advised Khloe to be cautious. So, in the next scene, Khloe goes back to Michael's house. But when she arrives, she finds Michael drunk and asks her to serve him. Khloe hesitates at first but eventually goes along with it. After their playtime, Khloe ends up feeling really happy. The next day, she immediately shares her experience with Katia. Once again, Katia reminds Khloe to be cautious of friendly strangers. But Khloe doesn't want to listen. She feels like Katia is just trying to watch over and control her. Eventually, Khloe leaves Katia's house feeling irritated. One day, when Khloe asked about Michael's feelings for her, he expressed his love for Khloe not just for her beauty, but also for feeling like she understood him. Khloe must have felt like she owned the world. The girl was surely ecstatic and felt deeply understood. Unfortunately, everything changed when Michael was suddenly attacked by a group of people. It turned out Michael owed a lot of money to loan sharks. Khloe suggested fleeing the city, but Michael felt pessimistic because those chasing him always knew his whereabouts. One day, when Khloe asked about Michael's feelings for her, he expressed his love for Khloe not just for her beauty, but also for feeling like she understood him. Khloe must have felt like she owned the world. The girl was surely ecstatic and felt deeply understood. Unfortunately, everything changed when Michael was suddenly attacked by a group of people. It turned out Michael owed a lot of money to loan sharks. Khloe suggested fleeing the city, but Michael felt pessimistic because those chasing him always knew his whereabouts. No matter how many times Michael hurt her, even though he treated Khloe terribly, she still wanted to hold on to the belief that Michael truly loved her. This shows how deep Khloe's feelings were for Michael. Unfortunately, after a few weeks, Khloe's condition worsened. She began behaving like a street companion, offering her body to passing men. Even Michael had set up a special room for Khloe to serve the lecherous men who requested her services. Khloe really seems to be going through a lot with that evil Michael. Weeks passed by, but Michael's debt never seemed to get paid off, and he rarely met with her lately. Then one day, Elsa suddenly revealed to Khloe that she was also a victim of Michael. It turns out Michael used the same tactic to deceive Elsa, making her feel sorry for him when in reality Michael was truly wicked. When Khloe heard this, she was shocked, but found it hard to believe because she had seen Michael being beaten by loan sharks. Khloe eventually realized that Michael was indeed manipulative and cruel. Strangely though, she still fell for Michael's fake love bombs whenever he showed up. One night, Khloe went to Michael's regular bar and saw him dancing with Katia. Khloe immediately jumped to the conclusion that Michael had slept with Katia, even though Katia actually wanted to help Khloe break free from Michael. It turns out Katia used to be a senior call girl who knew Michael as a pimp who exploited underage girls. Due to Khloe's stubborn nature, she ended up leaving Katia and Michael, then returned to Elsa. Khloe eventually realized that Michael was really a manipulative and cruel person. But strangely, she still fell for Michael's fake love bombs whenever he showed up. One night, Khloe went to Michael's favorite bar and saw him dancing with Katia. Khloe immediately assumed that Michael had slept with Katia, even though Katia actually wanted to help Khloe break free from Michael. It turned out that Katia used to be a senior call girl who knew Michael as a pimp who exploited underage girls. However, due to Khloe's stubborn nature, she ended up leaving Katia and Michael and went back to Elsa. That night, out of the blue, Michael showed up and started mercilessly hitting Khloe. Despite being treated like that, Khloe still believed in Michael and continued to serve him that night. Afterward, Khloe fell asleep, only to be forcefully awakened by Michael and taken to a quarry. It turned out that 3 Dutch individuals were waiting there, and Khloe was going to be sold to them. Khloe took immediate action and fought back against Michael using a metal pipe she found there. The Dutch individuals chose to leave rather than get involved in the complicated situation. While focusing on battling Michael, a speeding car suddenly crashed into him as he tried to confront Khloe. It turned out that the car was being driven by Katia. Khloe and Katia watched closely as Michael finally met his demise. After the tragic incident, Katia finally explained to Khloe that she wasn't as bad as Khloe had thought all this time. But Khloe still found it hard to believe. Khloe ended up running away and fled towards the fast-moving train tracks. Oh, that's crazy. Luckily, Khloe managed to lie down just in time, so the train passed without touching her. That moment seemed to make Khloe finally realize her mistakes. Khloe, who was initially somewhat skeptical, ended up tearfully embracing Katia. The two of them then decided to leave the place together.